guys enjoyed this one because it was a pain to get my PS4 moved over here from back there and set up. Maybe I'll just have to leave it here. Then my kids can't play Minecraft. Anyway, please enjoy while we wait for all of the other wonderful viewers to join us. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Welcome to Famicom Dojo Pile of Shame live, where I forgot to turn down my phone's audio, which is about 30 seconds off from what you just saw. Deja vu. Anyway, speaking of deja vu, today we're playing I Saw Black Clouds, a PS4 game. Well, this version is a PS4 game by Wales Interactive and Ghost Dog Films, which makes it an interactive movie. So how do we feel about interactive movies? I've actually played this since I bought it. I got it from Limited Run Games, like I said. And did I say that? Well, I'm saying that now. And I didn't play it for months, basically. It's a 2021 game, so it hasn't been that long. I did get it this year, though. And I finally picked it up, and I decided I wanted to 100% this game. And I ended up doing that before I played it for y'all. But we're going to play it together because I want to know your opinion. There's not a lot of information about this game on the internet, so getting 100% was really difficult. or at least finding a way to get through the game in such a way that didn't like spoil things and I understood what I was doing was very difficult. So, you know, if no one else wants to be that guy, I'll be that guy. So it'll be up to you. Do you guys want me to play it through in the best way possible because I know how now? Or should we just journey together and then we'll talk to each other about what we should or shouldn't do? I'll leave it up to you. So first, I'll welcome everyone here. Hello, Evan. How's it going? Thank you for joining us. Yeah. You know, maybe there's a reason this game isn't talked about a lot, which is too bad, I think. Because I do enjoy other games in the genre, or loosely in the genre, such as Double Switch is probably my favorite right now. And then, of course, there's the classic. Do I have any of the carts around here? I don't. There's the classic Night Trap. And there's lots of others. There's Scottie Pippen Slam City. There's the Sherlock Holmes games for like TurboGrafx 16 that sort of straddles the line a bit. Yeah. Who's played Indigo Prophecy, aka Fahrenheit? I know it's a 3D rendered game, but like, despite that, it feels like it's an interactive movie more so than a video game. And I guess you'll see what I mean in a minute here. So let's go to the retro station. Well, station. Shame. All right, yeah, as you see, I've gotten everything. Platinum trophy, 100%. It's the first time I 100%ed anything on the PS4. And I'm gonna say it wasn't that hard. Of course, I had a guide to help me for most of this stuff. Got to see all 4 endings. Were they that different? Well, let's just find out, shall we? So, yeah, I never heard of it before either. Ooh, hey, we got our subscribers, the same 6 people. At least it used to be the same 3 people. Now it's just the same 6 people. I really got to investigate what's up with this thing. I also made sure that my synchronization was better this time. So hold on a second. Do I still sound okay? Yeah. Like I set it for a while, and like there's like a negative setting on the audio because it's like a little bit behind of the video. So I had to set the negative setting on the audio, and then for a while it wouldn't let me do that. It threw an error at me. So then if I set it to 0, it was fine. I set it to 200, it was fine. And then now I decided it wasn't fine anymore and went back. I would just love it if the hardware would pick a setting and stay with it. I don't know. I also installed the Windows 11 update, so maybe things got rejiggered recently, but it's been doing stuff before that. Anyway, hi, how y'all doing? Let's play I Saw Black Clouds, y'all. I do not have a PS5. I'm probably not going to get a PS5 for a while because I want to play all of one game on it, and that's, is it even on here? Is it even on here? Hold on. It's got to be on here, right? Oh, it's here somewhere. There we go. The Last of Us Remastered. So part 1 is coming out for PS5 exclusively, right? Like that's going to be their big thing. They're not going to make a PS4 version, as far as I know. That would be the only game I'd really want to play on it. Now, I could play Forbidden West on a PS4, but at that point, it's like, do I bother? Like, do I go for the PS5? So then, like, there's like 1.5 games I want to play on a PS5. I can't really justify like $600, basically, to play one game or even 1.5 games. At least with my Xbox Series X, I have excuses for playing stuff on like original Xbox. That's just a bear to try and figure out how to get set up on the 360. Plus, those game saves can't get moved off of the hard drive. So I lost all my progress on like the original Halo and Halo 2, which is frustrating. I didn't lose it, but like I went to a new 360 and then I either had to play on that old 360 now or whatever. I got a lot of other games. What is that 9+ Dragon Age Inquisition there? I got a lot of games on here, guys, that I probably should play. Like, there's a lot of shameful pile things here. Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango. I don't remember buying these games. Were they free with PS Plus? I don't remember. I know Horizon Zero Dawn, this is a digital version, was like a PlayStation at Home title I downloaded. I got that Injustice. I got Mass Effect Andromeda that I got to play through still. Minecraft we play a lot. No Man's Sky could be a good one for the future. Did some Shadow of the Colossus already. Played both of these. Haven't played the Nathan Drake collection really hardly at all. Shenmue 3. Yeah, Amplitude. Could be good, but there's some stuff in here that I could play again at some point. Why did I get Trials Fusion? Because it's like Excitebike? Is that why? I can't remember. Any hoozle. I did Minecraft for a pile of shame too. That's everything I have installed. I'm not going to pull it up because that would make the system crash, but I have an external hard drive because I couldn't fit stuff. I've complained about this on the podcast before. All right, let's do I Saw Black Clouds. This is, by the way, a rated mature game. It's got some scary things in it. I don't think it's really any language. There's definitely a little bit of violence. Yeah. So the way this will work is there'll be these decision points, and the normal process of the game, it would be timed. You see like a little timer go down. We're not going to do it that way, so we can sit here and like talk about the decisions. And I can also talk about what I know about the decisions, etc. But let's do it. It's British. Did I mention it's British? I wasn't expecting that, and it's not bad. It's just I wasn't expecting everyone to sound British when I played it. So here we go. Oh yeah, it starts with a suicide, by the way. Even though I can skip, I'm not gonna.
You're safe.
This reminds me of Black Mirror a bit, the styling of it. Is this too loud? Can you hear me over the game? I'm gonna turn the game down a little bit.
I'm sorry. But I have to leave. Don't follow me.
There we go.
Where I'm going. I don't want you to go where I've been. Or see the things I've seen. I know I've let you down. Maybe we can be together again. But for now, I'm sorry.
Hello, new viewers. You're just in time for the beginning of the game.
Washington Irving wrote, "There is a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000
Yes, Nicole O'Neill, the star.
They are
Rachel
the
Jackson is.
of overwhelming grief.
Oh, you'll see her in
Today
a second.
our tears are for Emily.
Look
We
at
mourn
Charlotte.
a young
We'll just do
life
that.
ended
Well, it's our only action, so.
far too soon. We mourn the things
Right there,
We never said.
the blonde.
could have said. Because we never had the chance to say goodbye.
So much foreshadowing.
I speak to her?
All right, so before we do anything here, so there's also like when you get the spot for a decision, there's like a little bit of animation going on that's in sync with the timer to keep the action smooth. But now, as you can see, it's paused because that's the mode the streamer mode I have it in. I wanted to show you this. So there's this stats section that gives you feedback basically on what all of your decisions mean. And some of the decisions are consequential to how the story lays out. The other ones are more like flavor for how your character reacts to certain things and don't necessarily foreclose any options, but will change your story stats, denial, acceptance, and guilt. But then the character stats, I'm not really sure what the character stats mean per se. I know the story stats matter a lot in how you get certain endings. So in addition to there being specific choices that definitely change the route of the game, there's an aggregate story percentage based on those denial, acceptance, and guilt stats that will include or foreclose certain options at different points in the game depending on where those stats are at. So I guess the right way to play this game is to do it a lot of times and then see how these decisions impact those statistics, and depending on what your goals are, you know if you've done a good thing or not. So this is one of those situations where I could speak to Charlotte here, or I could just ignore talking to her, and you have to kind of think to yourself what that means for your character. You really have to role play to predict what that means. I'm just going to talk to her straight here, unless you guys think I shouldn't. How you'd play the game definitely also depends on how like the endings go. So like you go through one ending, you're like, oh, well maybe I should play it this way, and then the whole thing can be different. So I'll just respond to her question.
A few months. Just goes so quick, you know.
I know.
Okay, so let's see how that happens. So I got 5% acceptance for that, for not avoiding her question.
Do you think she blames us?
All right, now, this is a big deal, right? We don't know anything about the story yet. This friend of theirs killed herself, and it's like, what did you do that she would have blamed you? So the safest option seems maybe, right? You could say yes. It's like you feel guilt. Like, you know, if you give this answer, you're almost certainly going to increase your guilt stat, right? Like if whether or not you want to do that. So I don't know enough right now, and I mean I do, but you know, do we know enough to really answer this? So we'll just say maybe.
Maybe.
So there's a little bit of guilt, I bet. So some denial and some guilt. Guilt, 10%, excuse me. Honesty is like a character trait, right? So the honesty keeps going up. I think just by talking to Charlotte. So you can see there's a relationship stat with Charlotte here too. Which I think if you're interacting with her and you avoid her questions a lot, that'll sink your relationship with her. I don't know that stat has any impact on the game though. It's just supposed to make you feel bad. So.
Thank you both for coming today. I'm sure it would have meant so much to Emily.
She meant so much to us.
Yeah. Christina, I was wondering if you could do something for me.
Of course.
The pendant Emily wore, it was one my mother gave to me. I wanted to be sure it was safe. Can't face going back there.
Of course.
I was just wondering.
I'll get it. I will get it. That way.
And for the most part, the cuts are pretty good. So if you remember this hallway from the intro, that door back there is the closet where for Emily. Just even looking at it right now. I love the way this is lit. It's like it's a little oversaturated and washed out, but I don't. It feels more game-like, and it makes you not focus on things that kind of don't matter to the game. So I like that. Where was it? What was the first thing I was saying? The cuts between the decisions are usually pretty good. So all right, I've been asked to do this thing, and if I don't do this thing, then like my honesty isn't very good, probably technically, or my morality could go down because I said I was going to do it. So let's just find the necklace. Also, the game saves as you go along, and it's not entirely obvious where it's doing that because there's no indicator on the screen. But like any kind of movie, you can see the sort of natural breaks in the scenes, and that's typically where those save states are. So if you make a bad decision, you can go back, you can quit the game and come back in to that position. Now, this is one of those things where it's like this decision shouldn't matter, but for some flipping reason, for one of the endings you want to get, it does matter. So I'm just going to say leave. So she still has the necklace. Like the implication I got from this was that she wouldn't take the necklace if you say leave. But she has it, she just hasn't like wrapped it up. So I don't know if like the wrap up the necklace thing is supposed to be some kind of like gesture of like guilt or denial or just like prevaricating or whatever. So I'm just gonna leave instead. Because it doesn't, you just get one less scene where like she wraps up the necklace and then you basically leave anyway. And some decisions are like that where there are some things that are inevitable, but you get to do like a little more. There's like a little bit of a, oh boy. Hey, it's a ghost story, everyone. Surprise. Hope you like ghost stories. She looks under the thing. It's a face. No, it's a journal, a diary. Was it Emily's hand? Whose hand was it? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we're doing the pumpkin ale tonight. 'Tis the season.
18th of May. Now that the clinic is closing, I'm going to have to see one of the counselors privately. Her name is Dominique. She sees people at home in the town.
I love the framing of this and like the reflection of Christina in the mirror.
Quite dark about this place.
There's a lot of
I just feel pity for
good
her.
cinematography here.
The school said I can take as much time as I need to recover from this, but I don't believe them. I can't afford to lose that job. I'm pretending that I'm better than I am. I just can't shake off that feeling of shadows following me. I feel in danger. As though my life's going to end.
Oh,
I tell
this is
people that
clouds.
I'm okay.
Whatever.
But when I close my eyes, all I
Ah,
see
there it is.
is black clouds around me.
Now that was the title right there, Black Clouds. And she sees the closet again, which is now open. After we've seen a ghost. No big deal. And it's black in there, like the lighting is perfect. I also think that they reuse that hallway and that flat. They redress it.
How much longer will I have to wear this mask?
Nothing about a mask, remember that. So now I wonder if we're in the same set and they just redressed it because it looks similar. And that's what I would do.
21st of May. I'm so scared. I found out something about the girl who went missing from the clinic. I don't want to believe it. I can't write it down.
This is the girl who went missing. All right, so this is one of those things, like, do we keep going or do we avoid it and stop? I see no reason not to keep going. So let's just keep, she's gonna stop reading eventually, right? So what's it gonna hurt to read more?
26th of May. I told Dominique what I knew. She tried to calm me down. She says
It's the second time I've heard of Dominique
I
now.
know this is real.
All right. Should we go for a run or go for a drink? I mean, I'm having a drink now, so. I know, this is a woman after my own heart, basically, so we're gonna go for a run. Can always go for a drink later, right? Although I'm not really sure about her form here. Like, the kicking the legs up is good, but she isn't really extending those knees and her arms doing way too much work. On the other hand, she's really distraught, so I'm going to give her kind of a bit of slack. Anyway, should we be strong and hold it in? Feels like that could be a denial trait, or we could let it all out and cry in the middle of a wooded area, which I'm sure wouldn't attract weirdos at all. So you got to think like a woman a little bit. Like, is it safe for me to exist in this space? Guilt is getting pretty high. Denial is kind of low still, but oof. Acceptance and guilt, acceptance and denial aren't really, it feels weird that those aren't on a continuum, right? Charlotte's more introspective. She's pretty moral. She's very honest. I mean, could one say that holding it in is a show of strength? I'm gonna let it out because my friend's dead. We're just gonna let it out. Like, I went on this run to hold it in, and I know from personal experience that holding it in is just gonna give you anxiety. So we're gonna let it out. And if there are weirdos on the path, so be it. I love the editing here. It's very nice. It's not continuous, but it feels right. And like this stone inscription, like in the stone, it feels very like old country and British to me. I don't know why. Like, in America, it's usually going to be like a metal plaque or whatever, and they're going to have a post. Like, they're not going to stick it into a stone. These are nice details. Okay, so we could ignore it. Huh. I don't remember what to do here. Like, I go back to the apartment regardless, right? I'm going to try that some other time. Let's read more of the journal.
29th of May. The darkness is all around me.
I like that she's not literally reading it right now. It's like she went running and then had a cry and then started reading the journal. It's like, is she remembering what she read already?
People now. I feel like I'm being followed.
Great, now is Christina being followed? Ugh. Anyway, what's going on with this mystery, y'all? Hey, it's that girl from the funeral.
Don't tell me you're going tomorrow.
I can't stick around here. I need to get back.
Come on, I haven't seen you for ages.
All right. So how do we want our relationship with Charlotte to go versus, like, are we gonna try? Are we denying what's happening, right? Like, if she says she's gonna leave, it feels like we're not gonna follow up on the mystery of what we're finding here. So I'm gonna say we're gonna stay. And besides, it'll help my relationship with Charlotte. I assume there, 55%. Acceptance is going up. Guilt is still pretty high. Denial is pretty high.
Maybe I can get my flat for another few days.
Actually, I think guilt went down a little bit when I did that.
Great. I knew you would. I just want us to remember Emily together.
They're kind of jumping the line here, right? Like, because it's going behind Christina's head, but it's the physical space of the bar might not make it possible to see Charlotte from the other side of Christina. I don't know. So again, you can say nothing. Like, I like this as flavoring. I'm gonna be very nice with my friend though.
Emily.
Speaking of flavoring, what are they drinking? Brandy or whiskey, you think? Brandy's more of a Wisconsin thing, isn't it? So is this like a karaoke thing, or is she like the entertainment? Like, is she like the one person who sings in this town? And they're talking about her. Talking about her dress? I don't know. What are they saying? What do girls talk about in these situations? I don't even know. Someone tell me. Anyway, back in the flats. I gotta say, I appreciate this blue light. Oh. What was that? Who's knocking at my door? Anyways, there's a lot of shows that are like just so dark now, and you can't see much. Like, I'm looking at you, Raised by Wolves. Just about any TV show, really. I'm gonna get up. Someone's knocking. Let's just go answer. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, this like blue light, and they can still make things out. It's to show it's dark, right? But the audience has to be able to see things. Otherwise, it's just like, why film anything at all, basically? So I can go back to sleep and ignore it, or open the door. Let's open the door. Let's. Knocking, but nobody's there. I imagine these flats are kind of like multi-family homes. I don't know that for sure. But like, if anyone's in the building, that's probably weird. Excuse me. All right, so switch on the light or talk with the light off. What do we do? I'm not gonna just ignore it. All right, hearing nothing, we're gonna turn the light on. Like, I'm afraid of scaring whoever it is, but screw it. They're at my door. Oh, hello. Oh my God. Ah. Chills, man. Who played PT? I'm gonna close the door. Forget this, forget this, forget this. I'm closing the door. I'm closing the door. Forgive me. Ah! Why is the phone ringing now? All right, I'm gonna answer the friggin' phone. Why not? People are knocking, trying to get a hold of me. They're calling. Why not?
Christina?
Emily!
I'm so sorry.
Emily!
What happened?
Emily!
Is it true? It's dead.
Hello?
Calling from beyond the grave. What a rough night. She probably should have had more to drink. Probably should have gone back to bed, to be perfectly honest. How how we doing and everything? Acceptance is way up. Way up. Denial and guilt didn't really move at all. Introspective is up. Strength is up. Morality. All right. If you use the ignoring answers, then for the most part, hold on a second. I want to see what happens here. Actually, hold on. I'll pause it this way. If you use mostly the ignoring answers, like in that scene and other scenes, your denial just starts going way, way up. Like, you've basically decided you're going to stop participating in the game, and that is in fact one of the ways to get one of the endings, which is a weird decision to make. But like, if you're just like racked with guilt and you can't operate, that feels like a perfectly valid way to respond to this whole situation. And yeah, that leads to an ending. You miss a lot when you do that. I'll let you know. But it's a perfectly valid way of interacting with it, shall we say. It's a version of the story that makes sense and is whole. All right. I don't like this. There's two ways that plays out, and I do not know how one happens over the other. But that lady there, she's clearly surprised to see Christina. And she will speak sometimes and say, hey, I wasn't expecting you, or you weren't the one I was expecting. And I don't know what the difference is between those two things, if it matters to the story at all, or what triggers the difference. But the one where she doesn't speak at all and just like motions you inside is so weird to me. She clearly didn't understand. Oh, hold on. I can't leave it paused on her outfit here, but I'm digging how both of these ladies are dressed right now. Like, they're wearing dresses, and this other woman,
Why don't we start with why you're here?
is wearing a corset, and they're both like wearing them over like dress shirts. And I don't know who designed this, but I'm digging the style. It's good. It's good stuff. I'm not here for help. Feels like a little bit of denial and guilt, so I'm going to go just talk about Emily. Like, where am I? I don't even know.
My friend Emily died recently.
Yes, I heard about that.
Like, and who is this lady?
I'm sorry you've had to have that experience.
I know who she is.
Must be very troubling for you.
This is Dominique, by the way, the person that Emily mentioned in the journal twice. So there was no indication that's who you're going to see. And you didn't get a choice not to go talk to her. But
I was just wondering if you had some.
look at that booze
insight
back there and
into
that
why
lamp.
she would take her own life.
I'm sorry, but most of what was discussed is covered by a confidentiality agreement with my clients. I really can't help you with that.
She's dead.
Please, I really need some answers.
She's also not the authorities she's talking
Maybe
to. So
it would be better if we talk about your feelings.
yeah, I'm not here for.
You could tell me what's troubling you?
Are you going to charge me for this session? Yeah, let's talk to her about it.
Close your eyes and listen carefully to my
Right.
voice.
So you can resist this whole process, right? Go through it kicking and screaming, but that'll affect the stats in a way that I don't really want to affect them right now. So we're just going to do it.
I want you to go to your deeper place, way down inside of you.
This isn't creepy at all. Is Dominique French? I mean, with the
Safe.
QUE, I would think so. And her accent's a little French. So there's nowhere is safe, forest, or caves. So like, strangely, most of the walkthroughs I saw don't have you go to the caves. And I don't know, with my girl here running through the forest, I feel like forest is the best place for her to be. So that's where we're gonna go. But if you say nowhere is safe, that's definitely going to impact your scores here. Ah, Robin Hood. Sure would. It's nice and green. It's getting to be winter now. You know, it's fall, and then Wisconsin in particular, it's been really cold. So like seeing all this greenery is very nice. Now this forest scene plays out in so many different ways, and I see that it's not doing something I expected, which I
It's good, Christina.
think is a good indication of which ending I'm going toward.
Into the woods. The deeper you go into yourself.
There are other more serene scenes, and at least the
And I hate myself. I feel disgusted.
poor Emily. There were decisions you can make here and also going into the caves where you could like go different directions in the woods or in the caves. I don't think those matter. And maybe it's because I've played the game so many times now, I don't get those decisions anymore. Probably because they don't matter. But it's a weird thing to put into the game, decisions that don't affect your stats and also don't matter. And I'm not sure if what I saw really is an indication or if that's just how the game plays now. I guess I could have started this on a different account and seen how that went. I don't know. Anyway, we'll let her know that I saw a ghost. Which we did, right? There was the hand that grabbed our leg, and there was the one in the hallway. So
I saw a ghost.
Do you believe in ghosts?
okay. Now we're to one of those decisions that makes a big difference in the game. This whole sequence with Dominique will direct us in how the rest of the game plays out. And we're going to say, oh, which way do we go, guys? Do we believe in ghosts or not? I have to wait for YouTube to catch up. Just gonna wait. I'm watching YouTube. Wait. All right, listeners, what are we doing? I don't think I can make this decision because I know what happens either way here. All right, we believe in ghosts.
Yes.
It's all right not to be sure. They are, after all, just a figment of our imaginations. Representations of our anxieties and guilt.
Then why would I see one?
Our minds see what they want us to see. Do you believe in the afterlife?
Okay, here's another important one. Do you believe in the afterlife or not? I don't know answers. I don't know what happens really. I feel like a hard yes or no is more important here. So this also determines the course of the game. Do we believe in the afterlife or not? I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up to me now. Nope, we don't believe in the afterlife? Okay.
No.
Do you believe in carrying on when everything else looks hopeless?
I don't know if the answer to this matters, but I'll leave it up to you. Sorry, I got it. It's like a 20-second delay, so. What do you think? Should you carry on? Or are we going to pull into ourselves further? I'm not sure if the stats moved a bit. The guilt went up a little bit. Introspection's way up there, though. What do you think, Evan? No. All right. Don't believe in carrying on.
No.
me about your relationship with your parents.
Oh boy. I'm almost certain this doesn't matter. They're dead, they make me angry, or I love them. You tell me. It's an interesting one though, right? Like this is the kind of thing that you would expect a psychiatrist to ask you. They're dead. All right. That feels fair, right? Like you believe in ghosts, but you don't believe in the afterlife.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to get that.
Okay.
It's a prearranged call from one of my clients. Please, wait here.
This is one of those annoying things about this game, is that sometimes there are answers you can give that don't seem like they make a difference, and they really don't. It's just flavoring for the character, right? So that thing about your parents, I think, is one of them. Acceptance went up to 75%, introspective is high. The other time that happened so far was the door in the middle of the night, where you had a decision to close the door or just sit there waiting. The same thing happens no matter what you do there. And the same is here. Like Dominique has that phone call, interrupts your session, no matter what you say at this point. So one of two things happens. Either it adds to your stats, which then adds to the total aggregation for the different paths you can take in the game, or it's just coloring for your character and doesn't really matter. And it's hard to tell. I kind of wish that there would be more of an indication of what questions are in which category, kind of like a Mass Effect. I'm not gonna bug Dominique. Why would I invade someone's privacy? Let's look in the entrance hall. Why are we snooping around her place? Why are we here? That's a great question. Speaking of happy you're here. Huh. I feel like that's some kind of subliminal clue. This also is foreshadowing Christina's general snoopiness. I love that you can see her in the reflection, though. Like, she doesn't just go from your view and then she's gone for no reason. Like, you can still see her moving around. And that is something that happens in other points in the game. Yeah, okay, what? What? Oh my gosh. It's a Rorschach. It looks like a phoenix to me. Maybe that's just my brain. But oh my god. Ah! I do believe in spooks. 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 I do. Good Lord. Sorry, I'm This place is so kitschy. All right, I'm loving these old British homes too, right? Like, these places have got to be hundreds of years old in a lot of cases. Yeah. I'll just follow the ghost. That's fine. Oh my god. Sure, come in there. Go in there with the ghost alone. Let's just do that. Who cares? This whole place is weird. Like, this is a kid's room, right? And she would come here a lot. Just go in. What are you afraid of? Ah! Ah. Ugh. So notice, right? Notice so far that like when she's physically interacted with this ghost, she's been given something.
Of course. I should have shown you where it was.
That's not spooky at all.
What was I thinking?
What were you thinking, Dominique?
Thank you.
And of course, she's in a dress. She doesn't have any pockets, so she's got to hold on to the...
Thank you for your help.
Not at all. You're an interesting girl, Christina. I hope you find the answers you're looking for. Do speak to Reverend Peter at the church. I'm sure he can help you with this.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what to expect there, to be perfectly honest. Huh. All right. So given that what she just said, what Dominique just said to us, I know that our answers with her are going to make the story go in one of two major ways right now. And in one of those ways, Christina is going to put this SD card in her computer and get in right away. The other way it goes is that it's password protected and she can't get in right away, and then more things have to happen. And I'm assuming because of what she mentioned about Reverend Peter that we're going to get in right away. We'll see if I'm right. I know, right? Who uses SD cards anymore? Physical media. Okay, she got in right away. So now I know what the major thrust of the rest of the story is going to be. So we said we believed in ghosts, that we don't believe in the afterlife, but our parents are dead. So I'm wondering if the parents are dead thing mattered, or if it's my other stats. My acceptance is way high. Guilt is pretty high. Denial is low. I mean, pretty high, 20%, but still very introspective. Okay.
You think a dead person is talking to you?
So here's Emily.
It doesn't talk to me. She puts thoughts in my mind.
How is this affecting you?
I feel her here every day, especially at night. As though I'm always being watched. What she used to say was comforting. But now it's things that frighten me.
I'm concerned that this imaginary friend is affecting your emotions so much.
Imaginary. She is as real as you are.
Please, keep talking to me, Emily. It's important you explain this.
I can't.
Why not?
Because she's right there. Standing behind you.
Oh my God. It's dark down here, so now I'm freaking out. All right, we're off to the church. I'm wondering if the answer about her parents being dead is why she went to the church.
Peter,
I'll have to play this another way sometime.
it's Christina, isn't it? How can I be of help?
There are a few things I wanted to ask you.
Well, after a bereavement, people often want
He was the same priest that did the service for Emily. All right, I want to understand what happened. Emily was a troubled person. Yeah, let's talk about Emily.
It's about Emily. She was troubled by a lot of things.
It's another line jump there. We went behind Reverend Peter's
I
head.
tried to help her where I could, but she didn't regularly come to this church. And people who aren't religious often feel uncomfortable asking advice from a man of the cloth.
So, I mean, this is like beside the point, I guess, but is this an Anglican church or a Catholic one? Like, it has Catholic trappings. I'm going to guess it's Anglican, though, because they're in England.
Emily talked about seeing ghosts here in the village. And it's something that I've experienced as well.
It's very common.
I wonder what my stats are like. Okay, so my guilt and denial didn't move at all.
After a death like this, to have such experiences. Even for those that don't believe in the paranormal.
But I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. All right, I'm going to say something else.
I thought that too, but this is something different.
Maybe it has something to do with the story of Agnes.
Who's Agnes?
Agnes.
Acceptance went up. Oh, guilt went back up to 20%. That's a bummer.
It's a local legend. Dates back to the 18th century. She was a maid who worked in the Lord's estate. Her parents brought her over from Sweden when they came to work here.
Oh, a Swedish maid, of course.
That she had an affair with the Lord.
And of course she did, because she's a Swedish maid.
Pregnant, he was horrified that she wanted to legitimize a relationship.
This is like a whole trope.
Very different back then, of course.
What did she do?
Well, when she refused to back down, he threw her out. It was very cruel. Her parents went around for her, and as a single pregnant woman back then, your choices were very limited.
Why did the subscribers thing pop up? That's very annoying.
Options and without any help.
Why? Why is it going through this again?
Into the lake on the Lord's estate. Drowned herself and the unborn child.
So we got another suicide. 2 suicides.
Thanks, Anne. Bye. Not exactly. It's said that she cursed the area with her death. And that her spirit returns to taunt young women into taking their own lives. It's all nonsense, of course.
Well, there was
There are more suicides here than normal.
Emily.
Some
There's the
areas
missing
are
girl
more
yet.
dangerous than others. The sad fact is, suicide hotspots occur more often than you think. And having a local legend like this only adds to
Argus, murder mystery game.
people's neurosis.
Right now it's more of a suicide mystery game.
Doesn't help that Alexander keeps talking about it. He's the Lord's descendant.
He lives here in the village.
Yes. The estate's had the same family for hundreds of years. I wouldn't recommend talking to him about this.
Oh, okay.
The kind of thing you want to hear when you've just lost a friend in the way that you have.
We'll just not talk to him.
Can be a little bit grumpy.
Yeah, it's more of like a paranormal thriller right now. Don't talk to Lord Alexander. Oh, we're going to go to the Lord's estate. You can tell it's Lord's estate because it's made of brick. And it has the climbing ivy. And obviously it's very old. So yeah, it's a interactive movie, basically. Yes, we are close to Halloween. What a great point. This was great.
Yes.
Wonderful Halloween stream.
I believe I met a colleague of yours today, Dominique. She mentioned to me that you worked at the clinic. I was hoping I could ask you some questions.
Did she mention that? I don't remember her mentioning him at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels like the other houses we've seen so far are like plaster and wood and like sawdust.
This is my friend Emily. She passed away recently.
Yes. I was at the clinic when your friend was there, but purely in an advisory capacity. I couldn't comment on her treatment.
That is peculiar. Should we ask him about that? Guilt is going up still. Why? What did I say that would make me feel guilty?
Advisory at the clinic.
Yes, I retired as a surgeon many years ago, but I would be called back to advise the psychiatric team from time to time.
Did that change my stats? It didn't. My acceptance is all the way up.
Why did the clinic close?
Yeah. Series of patient disappearances, suicides. Over the years, it led to its closure.
This is the point where I gotta say that this conversation goes very differently if we had answered Dominique's questions differently. It's interesting.
And anything else?
There was nothing wrong with the treatment there. It was the building that was cursed.
So you believe there's some truth in this curse?
Oh, yes. This house has been under dark clouds for hundreds of years. Ever since my ancestor foolishly impregnated that stupid maid.
Hold on. All right, nothing changed there.
Do you live here on your own?
Now, yes. My wife left years ago.
Left?
I would have gone too if I hadn't have believed that I would have taken the curse with me.
Left? She left.
You believe the curse would follow you?
Oh, yes. Just as I'm sure I drew it to the clinic. All those vulnerable people. It's an angry spirit. It preys on those who are emotionally open to it.
Sorry about that. I crossed my legs in a different way and I unplugged the microphone. Okay, none of the stats changed. Have you seen her or coincidence? Coincidence? We believe in ghosts, so why even pretend at this point?
She haunted this house for years, burning the life out of anybody who lived under its roof. Yeah, the good Reverend hasn't told you the full story, has he?
Did I say I talked to the Reverend?
My ancestor was an arrogant man. He was also stupid. A man in his position should never have gone near one of his domestic staff. I mean...
Yeah, but she was Swedish.
I suppose her being Swedish must have added an air of exoticism.
Oh my. So, hot Swedish maid aside, I'm enjoying the... Sorry. I'm enjoying the wood paneling inside the brick house. Like it looks like a very old house. Appropriately British and Lord's Manor-y. Oh my. And the older maid sees this and says nothing.
Of course, the inevitable happened. Usually these things are handled discreetly, but for some reason, she thought he would acknowledge her as the father of her child. A preposterous idea back then. She had to leave, of course.
I'm getting like Handmaid's Tale vibes from these red outfits. That's probably where they came from, right? It was from like serving girls. And she yelled something in Swedish. Who knows Swedish?
The other staff turned their backs on her. Nobody in the village would help. Quite alone, with no family to turn to, she was left with almost no choice.
She's just gonna turn into a Swedish fish? May your family only shop at IKEA. Thanks, Argus.
They say that a soul that dies in a state of rage leaves a curse. Well, Agnes cursed us all that day.
That splashing effect was a little
So
fakey.
you believe these deaths were because of her?
Records in this house were very carefully kept. Particularly so on an estate so heavily reliant on agriculture. The phases of the moon were noted. Agnes's death
Phases
was
of the
remarkable
moon.
at the time because of the blood moon that appeared in the sky on the night of her death.
Oh.
A lunar eclipse.
Indeed. 2 years on, and Agnes was barely remembered. Until the next blood moon appeared in the sky.
All right, then.
That night, a maid in the house swore she'd seen Agnes on the stairs, whispering to her. The days went on, and she became more and more hysterical, claiming she heard Agnes speaking to her wherever she went.
I mean, this maid's cute too. Like, she's not Swedish, but
The next morning,
a little bit
his
older,
steward
maybe.
found the maid hanging from a tree.
That's not what we're going for, right?
After that, we grew to fear the appearance of a blood moon.
Even now.
Let me show you something. Out there used to be the outbuildings that the servants lived in.
What happened?
I had it burned to the ground. When one of the servants started complaining about a woman who could be seen in the building at night, I finally had enough.
So you set it on fire.
Fire was the only way to drive her out. The vicar's predecessor was...
All right. Did they actually burn a freaking building for this game, or is that just very convincing fire effects? Because that water effect was not very convincing.
very helpful in this matter. He was a far more enlightened man.
It looks pretty good. These questions seem like they're the same question, don't they? Like, what's the difference? My guilt's 25% now. My introspection's way up. I don't know.
But has she been seen in the village?
Oh, yes. By the lake.
Yeah.
Where he died.
Why walk around with the noose? I agree.
Really don't recommend you go there.
All right, let's talk about Emily some.
I just want to know if she had anything to do with what happened to my friend.
Look, I hope you find your answers. But if I were you, I'd leave this accursed place.
Maybe it's a different scene, but I thought that she showed him the picture of the girl who went missing.
Excuse me.
Yeah, how does he know
Do you
fire
know the
works? I
kind
would
of
love
this?
to know that.
You mean
And
the
then he
asylum?
like lined it
Yeah,
with
it's
salt.
just
Maybe we're
mental
supposed to
health.
think of
Yeah, that's it. The old mental
maybe we're supposed to think of like general ghosty occult things.
place. Turn it into houses now. Follow the road up half a mile and turn right.
So we're checking out the clinic that closed.
Yeah. You watch yourself up there. Pretty girl like you. All sorts of weirdos hanging about that place.
Yeah.
Weirdos like me.
The mental people go back there sometimes. Watch your step. Not that I'm prejudiced or anything.
And you never see him again. You only got one shot. What did I say? Shat? One shot. That was the most Wisconsin thing I've ever said on this show. One shot. One chance to blow. All right. So this is one of those things where I'm not sure your decisions make all that much of a difference. I mean, there's a spot where it does, but generally speaking, like you're just wandering around this building now and you're trying to explore and find things. And there are dead ends, basically. So does it show? It doesn't show. On the... Hold on a second. I'm going to... Oopsie doopsies. We're in a new scene now, so I feel comfortable doing this. Okay, so the last time I played this game... Oh, it's not showing me. Shoots-a-doodles. Hold on a second. Where is that stuff? How do I get to my screenshots? Messages, events. Dang it. All right, we'll do it later. When you get to an end game screen, which I've taken snapshots of, I'll skip over this stuff. Go left. So she'll wander around to the left and nothing ever happens there. At the end of the game, you get these screenshots. Or I took a screenshot of the number of scenes that are available in the game that you've seen. That actually were displayed to you. And I feel like some of these wandering around bits that don't make a difference, and I'm pretty sure don't affect your score. Yeah, nothing really changed. Is just for weirdo completionists. And some of the time, though, it seems like those scenes are duplicated, but like the context for when it's shown to you is different, even though it's the exact same physical scene. And so there aren't really that many more that are left. I think out of like 1,000 or so, I've seen all but like 67 of them or some weird number around there. So yeah. Have I ever gone in the left door? I'm gonna go in the left door. We definitely passed this room on the way with those lights hanging out. So we don't really got a good idea of the space here. So the left door was wrong. We went into the right door instead. Let's just wander around this creepy abandoned clinic. I'm sure nothing will happen here. Let's keep looking. I haven't gotten my answers yet. This is one of those things where I don't think it matters which one you say. Like the same thing basically happens. That was a prime point for a jump scare, wasn't it? Yeah, right? Like, how did they find this place? Like, how many condemned buildings are around Wales? I mean, I assume it's Wales because it's Wales Interactive, but I guess it could be anywhere in Great Britain. The United Kingdom. I mean, that just includes Northern Ireland, right? So, unless they went to Northern Ireland, there's almost no reason to say United Kingdom. The history of that whole thing is weird. It has to do with the kings. Oh. Yeah, I don't recall if the Welsh crown passed to the King of England or if it was like, if they were conquered. But like, all right, so is this Emily or is this Agnes? She's got dark hair. Should we look at the ghost, guys? I'll let you decide. So Great Britain, I believe, was formed when the Scottish crown passed to James VI, who became James I of England. James VI of Scotland became James I of England, and that unified the crown. And so the whole island at that point was one. And then it wasn't until, was it Queen Victoria got the Irish crown, and that became the United Kingdom. So all three islands, and then the Irish were like, "No, screw that. We're going to be independent." Yeah. If the building was like empty, they could have done lots of things with that. All right, am I looking or not looking? I'm going to decide. Give it 20 seconds. Okay. All right, we're going to look. Argus says he believes the Welsh were conquered. Is it Emily or not? Well, we looked. Nothing seemed to happen. This isn't spooky at all. I'm gonna guess it's Agnes because she's got the splotch and she's wearing the stuff. I don't know. She has dark hair, it's hard to tell. All right, hold on a second. Shame! All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up, so we'll finish this scene and then we're gonna have to go. I thought we'd get to the whole game, but I guess I was wrong. We can pick this up some other time where we left off.
You shouldn't be here. This is a closed site.
All right, but I saw a ghost guy, random construction worker.
Following me.
Oh, there's always weirdos hanging about this place. It's bloody dangerous.
No, this is something different. There was someone behind me. I swear.
Well, we aren't there now. What do you think you were doing, wandering about like that?
My friend was a patient here. I just wanted to see it for myself.
I don't think so. Well, this place has been closed more than 20 years.
No, she was here 2 years ago.
This place was closed up after the fire broke out on the ward. They moved all the mental stuff to some other place.
Some other place. All right, so we're in a new scene now. That's going to have to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Sorry we didn't get through the whole game. I will say that there were two major forks in the game story there. So the whole thing with like the ghost and stuff that we're doing right now is one of those major forks. And there's a different version of what happens. I think the easiest way you get to that is if you say you don't believe in ghosts when you talk to Dominique. There's a way to sort of merge the two. Ultimately, I think that's like the best ending. But in this one that we're in, we're never going to meet Jack. He never shows up. So that's like an indication to you that there's a different ending that you can pick, and it's true. But this is still a self-contained story that I think works out really well. It's a little different. We didn't get to it, so I won't say more than that. But it's a little different than like one of my favorite games, which is Shadow of Destiny. Which has lots of different endings, but they all like converge on the same overall story. But this is like different forks, they're different stories, and they don't really meet unless you play them all. If that makes sense. Well, if you guys like this, just leave a comment on the video, not like in the chat, like comment on the video about if you liked it and you want to see more. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. We are in October now, and our Patreon supporters for the month of October are in the Dojo Disciple tier. We have Andrew Greeley, Danny Hathcock, and Earl Grey III. And on the Might Get a T-shirt tier are Butler, Joda A. Cornelius, Keith Robinson, Lena Blue, Peter Burrell, and Rachel Moser. I'm going to have a poll up pretty soon for voting for our T-shirt design for the year. And if you then have earned it or will have earned it by the end of the year or at any point, well, yeah, that's a great question. I think it's going to be everyone up until November. If you earned it by November, you'll definitely get one. If you haven't, then it's going to be kind of a crapshoot. But for anyone at any point, you can get a discount on the stuff on our Teespring store. Thank you, Argus, for saying it's a good stream. I had fun. It's fun. I like doing these. We'll be back next week for sure, next Wednesday or Friday. I haven't decided which yet, to do more Chrono Trigger. We can come back to this game too and finish this playthrough. And maybe another one if people are enjoying that. But until then, I guess the dojo is solving a murder mystery.
Famicom Dojo.